All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Oh my goodness, is it really another Wednesday night? It is. It's Wednesday, 7:30 p.m., and it's time for the Adafruit hosted show and tell. This is a half an hour we have where the community can come by and show us what they're working on, from LEDs to dev boards to 3D printing to cool crafting and cosplay. We want to check out what y'all are doing. It doesn't have to be Adafruit stuff, but if it is, that's cool too. It's me, Lady Ada here, and Mr. Lady Ada. Behind us is the wonderful Adafruit Factory, which is your cyber host tonight. As we're here for the next 20 or so minutes, we got to get out of here for the next show. So maybe we'll wrap up at 7:50 or so. Take 2 to 3 minutes when we call on you, and then mute your mic after you're done. We'll kick it off with some Adafruit folks, and then whoever else shows up. So let's start off with Scott.
Hello.
Hey, Scott.
I have been doing a lot of odds and ends, and kind of the theme of a lot of the work I've been doing is the idea that we can support more and more boards and microcontrollers with CircuitPython. And as a result, I've been just collecting lots of different boards. And so I literally just sat here and picked 5 from what is on my desk. I have more, but thought I'd just do a quick show of those 5. So this first one is an ICE 40 Ultra Plus 5K development board. It's an FPGA, which means you can make your own CPU and system on a chip and put it all together. I've been kind of advising Mithro, getting some USB working on the FPGA stuff, which is very exciting. So I'm biggest to smallest. So I got this in the mail from Lady Ada. I haven't used it yet, but it's our Pi Gamer version 2 kind of thing.
The first draft. It's a rough draft.
It's a rough draft. It's good. It's motivation for me to get back to the display stuff, which will happen at some point. And then I've got something that's coming out sooner, the Feather NRF 52840, polishing up the USB stack on there along with the support for the QSPI that we had a bug with and just hopefully have gotten solidified. And then going down even smaller, I have this that kind of looks like a feather, but it's not actually a feather. It's a Tiny FPGA BX board, which is from Tiny FPGA on Twitter. And it's also an ICE 40, but this is the older version that's the 8K. And it's got the FPGA connected to the USB as well. So you can get USB going there. And then lastly, the smallest one is very tiny.
Wait, that's too small.
Is a Tomu, which is a little microcontroller that fits in your USB slot. So you can see these are the pads that the USB connects to. And this version is running just a EFM, which is a Scilabs chip. And at some point, we'll get USB going on this as well. It's only got like 8K RAM, though, so I don't think CircuitPython will happen without some work. And I also have the new version of this that I don't know if I can talk about, but it's very exciting as well.
There's a coming soon on Crowd Supply, so we know it's going to have an FPGA in it, but we don't know anything else.
So yes, I do have some of the new Tomus as well. Okay.
So there's a lot of excitement going on there with USB stacks, FPGAs, chips up plenty. You also
got tiny USB work.
You got an STM F7 too, right? You said, or that's coming.
It's not on my desk.
Okay, but there's even more.
It's in the room next door. I have.
You have so many dev boards. You need another room to store them all.
The box just gets bigger and bigger as I collect more. I was working on the STM32F4, which I actually have here.
Nice.
So I was playing around with that as well. I had that from my pre-Adafruit days. So I was trying to get tiny USB going on there also.
Okay, cool.
And just to show Scott something, we got this in the mail, which you'll like. This is the little...
oh, nice.
Yeah, the person sent us out one. And
a mini SAM.
A mini SAM, which is another CircuitPython running.
It's a SAM 51.
Yeah. I think I may have just merged that. There is definitely a pull request to add support to the official repo for it. So that I love the Blinky. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually through. There's a little spaceship, and then you can see the status LED here. There's a little dot star status LED.
Yeah, they did a great job. We actually, another top secret thing is we're working on a downloads website, and I was working on that today. making it easy to get download CircuitPython for whatever board you have from whomever.
So there we go. All right.
Sweet.
Next.
You should get Andrew to take some pictures of that.
Yep.
Yeah, we will do
On
so.
its way next.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next up, Noah Pedro.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hey, welcome back.
I don't
Thank
know how
you.
we could top a Lego circuit
Yeah,
board, but
we'll try. We got one of these new iPads, so Pedro figured he'd make a Ninja Flex bumper for it.
because it's what we do when we get a device every
Yeah.
time.
It's a good idea.
Of course,
Protect
Ninja
yourself.
Flex avoids the camera bump that all devices now have, so it's nice and level, and it's a perfect accessory to the Trellis. Yay! Now it
Yeah,
plays off.
Yeah, I'll play it off later. This is a little Ninja Flex bumper that we're working on as well, so guys, look out for that one. But last week we were live at Disney Epcot showing off this little guy here. Let me go ahead and turn it on. It's a Halloween-based project with the ultimate GPS Featherwing. So you can turn this into kind of like a geocaching music player. We were walking around Epcot's showcase, and we were playing back national anthems and displaying kind of some fun images, landmarks, and flags and things. But right now it's just kind of searching for the satellite. Since we're indoors, it will take a little bit, but it's got an awkward speaker in the back. Yeah. And everything snap fits in this little nice 3-printed case. There's our lovely Skull. He's in there hanging out. And I'm surprised that security let me in, because if they saw that, they'd be like, hey, what is that? But I have a nice case to kind of make it less intimidating. So there we go. Huge shout out to Dave Estelles for writing the code for this. And we have a Learn Guide set up. It's live now. And we also have a little YouTube video on our channel, so you guys can check it out.
Thanks.
Yep, we'll show that off tonight. And if folks ever want to be in their own video game where when you go to a different area, it plays a different song, you could do that with this. This is exactly the type of thing that can do. You just put in the GPS coordinates and the song, and it would play that when you get to that location.
Excellent.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
JP.
JP and JP's workshop.
Okay, everyone. So there's a good chance that this will work, but I just crashed this laptop a few minutes ago, so it's been booting up this whole time. So what I want to show is a little sneak peek at a project for tomorrow. I'm going to switch hands here. And this is what we're calling the launch deck. So we've done a lot of music projects, synthesizer things with our Trellis M4 so far, but this is a project that uses the USB HID capabilities, which means it can send out keyboard shortcuts. It can send out the media keys that are used for things like mute and pause and play and stuff like that, next track. And so this is some cool code that Scott wrote and Kattni was helping me with. What it does is it's in sleep mode right now, but if I hit a button, you'll see it light up. It's a little blown out, but I've got color coding so that I can do things like if I just want to launch Gmail, if you look on this laptop, let's see if you can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's now launching Firefox and opening up a window with Gmail in it. Now I can switch over to my code view. Oh, yes. So some of the stuff I crashed means that this isn't going to work right now. You can see it trying. So there it's gone over to Moo by hitting a red key. Let's see if I can get Adam back up. Adam doesn't want to launch. So
Live demos. You can do like volume up and down too, right?
you can do volume up and down, which is these little guys here. Let's see if that's working now. Better demo tomorrow on my show.
There you go.
There it is. There's some volume happening. And I can, if you can see that, that's the little volume thing showing up. I can mute, which is what just popped up there. I can play if there's something up to play. I think Spotify is in the background there. So you can do a lot of neat things, and I'll show that you can use different app launchers and macro control apps on your machine on pretty much any operating system so that you can take what I'm using, which are pretty elaborate keyboard shortcuts so that I don't run afoul of other keyboard shortcuts. So I'm doing things like Command, Option, Control, 1, and so on. So the things you're not likely to use yourself to fire off lots of different things, switching between apps, Alt-Tab for going between tabs inside the browser, hiding the front windows, a lot of cool stuff. I've just been working on this for a few days and I am already addicted to using it. It's a lot better than any other app switching kind of productivity shortcuts I had on my keyboard because it's, you know, color coded, custom, and very specific to what I'm doing. So tune in tomorrow to find out more about that and other cool stuff.
And it's totally open source and customizable.
Right. We have our own launch deck that is open source and customizable. Do anything you want with it.
All right, break free of the non-open source button boards. All right, thanks, JP. Tune in tomorrow. Okay,
Right on.
up, let's go to Sophie.
Hi.
Hi, Sophie.
So I have a Halloween project. I made a glove, and I call it the Handy Sampler. This is in the new issue of Hackspace magazine, and it's basically I recorded a bunch of sounds. I actually just recorded my own voice into my computer saying meow, and then put those sounds on the Hallowing. And I just broke out these capacitive touch pads onto, I just sewed conductive thread to all the fingers, and then I added these little metal rivets, and one for the thumb so you can trigger it with your thumb, and it makes meow sounds.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure you can hear it.
Yeah,
but
meow, meow, meow. Yeah, meow, meow.
So this is a speaker that came in the Ada box. So all of this just, came out of the Ada box, and I just threw it on a glove and added some rivets to it. Oh, and I drew this little image. It's hard to see, but I just drew that on my iPad. It was so easy, and I just saved it as a bitmap image and then loaded it onto the Hallowing. So
Yay!
fake band name,
I like that. It's kind of like a 90s. Yeah, I think it's because your camera is like polarized. So it's like, why are you looking at a TFT with your camera? Yeah, I like it. It's kind of got this 90s like Sophie and the Meows,
Right.
like
Yeah. That's totally what my
and then you're on stage and you're like playing your meow glove, and like nobody knows about you. You're like a very secretive like rock star, but
Sure. Yeah.
very
I can
fabulous.
just hold it in front of my face, and then you have no idea what's back here.
I know. Well, that looks really cool. And congratulations, we saw the article. It's great, and I love the little rivets. It's such a nice touch because then you can touch them, you can click, and it has a nice feel.
Yeah, it gives you like a little target, to aim for with your finger. It's kind of easier than aiming for like a little pad of thread.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is amazing. Well, good work. And everyone pick up Hackspace magazine so you can read all about Sophie's projects. You've got a bunch of projects in Hackspace, and they're all amazing. So
Thank you. Oh, and you don't even have to buy it. Like the magazine is available as a downloadable PDF. So that's really cool. Like you could just go.
We have a link to the latest Hackspace on the Adafruit blog. We featured your project in the latest Python on Hardware newsletter. Congratulations. And we're going to talk about it a little bit tonight when we do our CircuitPython recap and more.
Sweet.
And for folks who subscribe to a year of Hackspace, they get a free Circuit Playground Express. So, yay.
yay.
All right.
So awesome.
And thanks for using CircuitPython. That project would have been hard every other way because getting graphics and doing things like
I love
that
the graphics. It's a nice little
Yeah.
touch. Like a lot of projects, there's no like thing that is like, oh, this is the brand of the project.
Yeah, and I love that you don't even have to get bogged down with soldering and stuff. You could just plug things into it and just go. It's just like so many ideas that you wouldn't be able to, there'd just be such a learning curve if you wanted to do this any other way.
Yeah,
Right.
this is one of those projects that would take longer to. They used to take longer to code than it did to actually physically make. The physical making of it is the fun part, and like you could just do that, and then the coding part's like, oh, this is easy. I can just put this stuff together and then like drag an image on, and it just works.
And then once it's built, you can just, I could change this image. I can change the sounds. Like
Yeah.
easy. It's like the project lives on. You don't have to just move on once it's built.
I did an Arduino color sensor thing a while ago, a
It's
really
a
long time ago.
nightmare,
It was
yeah.
really tough because it was just sensing color too. And I
Oh
was
my-
like, well, yeah. And so by the time the end of the project, it was like, well, let me just tape it to a glove because I was just tired. I was like,
It's awesome.
all right,
All
thanks so
right,
much.
thanks. Okay,
Thanks
Jim
for- Jim.
with his breadboard. Unmute your mic so he can hear you.
Oh, hello?
Hey, hi, Jim.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, hi there, guys. So I have something kind of interesting. I have a circuit, I'm calling it the Uni-amp. And what it is, it's a simple LM358 op-amp, dual op-amp, but it's combined with a inverting charge pump on a little board like that, about that size.
Uh-huh.
And that gives you the negative rail. So if you give it 12 volts, you automatically get plus and minus 12 volt rails on it.
Cool.
Really inexpensive. So if you want, you can do things like, I mean, you can select my scope there. I'm feeding it like I have a gain of 2 op amp circuit, non-inverting circuit. So I'm powering this thing off of 14 volts right now. My power supply drifted a little bit, but I'm able to swing close to 20 volts peak to peak if I want. You can do other things with it. I have a friend that was using an Arduino to control some industrial stuff, and it required a plus and minus 10 volt control signal. So he only had 12 volt power available. So it's actually something I did for him a while ago. But you can see on the meter over there, I've got it set for 0 right now. So if you give it 1 volt, this is the other op-amp circuit. If you give it 1 volt on its input, if you switch it over and you give it like 0, it'll switch to being like 10 volt output. And if you give it like a 2 volt input, like you could get from a DAC, then you'll get minus 10 volts. So you can do a number of different things with it. It's kind of a useful little circuit. I put together because I've used it a lot with stuff I've done at work and stuff I've done for other people. So
that's super handy. Yeah, it's hard to get like a split supply because people don't have wound coil power supplies anymore. Everything has to be switching. Yeah. So it's like you don't get a free -12 anymore.
No, that's the whole circuit there. It's just a little 555 with a BAT 54 diode, a few caps, and an LM358. That's it.
BAT 54, great diode. Love that Shocky diode. All right, well, thank you so much, Jim. This is a sweet project. All it's missing is an as seen on show and tell sticker, which you probably won't fit on your board because your board's so small, but it can fit on the breadboard or on the schematic or on your sweet TDS 2012 Tektronix scope. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com and say, hey, I'm Jim from the show and tell. Send me a show and tell sticker, and we'll send you one as soon as possible.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jim.
Bye. All right, we have one show and tell thing this week, which is exciting for us because we normally don't get a chance to have show and tell stuff because it's all about y'all. But this week, because we don't want to set this up again, we're going to show this. This is the Tenori-on, and it was one of the things that really inspired Monome, which is this neat button box essentially. And then that's something that we thought a lot about when we made Trellis. So I'm going to turn on the music now.
It's got this LCD built into it.
Yeah.
And like this.
And this was made over 11 years ago by Yamaha. And it's a 16 by 16 grid of LED switches. And it makes these really nice patterns. And if you turn it over, it's on that side too.
Wow! I wasn't expecting that.
A lot of people didn't know that, yeah.
Wow.
And it can be battery powered as well.
Oh my goodness.
There's an iOS version in Europe, since it's now
an app.
Nicely put to digital. But this is one of the things when we thought, well, let's do this really cool CircuitPython powered music synth and more. And we'll probably have larger versions of Neo-Trellis eventually too. This is one of the things that really inspired us.
Yeah, this is so cool. It feels nice too. This is like a nice rounded, this is kind of metallic and it's nice to hold.
So that's our...
this one I don't think you can press the buttons. We only press the buttons on this
that
side.
yeah.
It shows on the other side.
Okay, that's our show and tell.
All right, thanks everybody.
All right, thank you so much.
Sophie, Scott, no, Pedro, JP,
JP,
and Jim, and the charge pump.
Yeah, we're here every single week, 7:30 p.m. Thank you for making this the best half an hour of our week. Every single week, we'll have Ask an Engineer in just a few minutes. And if you were on the show and tell and you want a sticker, don't forget to email support@adafruit.com, and we will send you an As Seen with a show and tell sticker.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Stay warm.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.